There's some funny stories about middle school. There's one in particular. Thinking back on it, I'm like, my teachers definitely weren't in the right to get mad about this. They called a meeting for our entire team in 7th grade. So the entire 100-some kids are packed into one of the modulars, and our math teacher yells at us because there was a broken pen on the stairs of her modular. And she was like, I was testing you guys. Like, nobody stopped the last couple of days to pick this up.
What?
What? She was pissed. It's just so weird. You realize we're all 13 or whatever. Don't really care about how clean our pod is.
She sets you guys up for failure.
I know. I remember seeing it and being like, oh, it's broken pen. I don't want to touch it.
One time in 6th grade, I guess I was really mean to subs. I didn't like them. They were telling me what to do, and I was like, who are you to tell me what to do? Anyways, so I guess I got on one of the subs' nerves. I guess I remember one thing I did. She took a piece of paper I crumbled up, and I gave it to her, and she's like, put it back in the trash can. I gave it back to her, and she's like, put it back in the trash can, and I said, I did. No, she's like, put it back in the trash can, and I was like, all right. And she didn't seem very fazed by it or anything, and I threw it in the trash can. She just told me to pick it up and all that. It's big routine. Anyways, I got sent outside. Kids at school told me that when I was outside, she started crying. And she was like, his parents must hit him or something because he's just a disgrace or something along those lines.
I have so many stories from this one lady. I one time walked into my homeroom in 8th grade. My teacher started crying and was like, why don't you like me? Bro, it was the weirdest thing in the world. Thinking back at that, I'm like, that is so weird for an 8th grade teacher to be pissed about some knucklehead kid not liking her. And to the point where she was crying.
Wait, one person or the whole class?
It was just me in the room.
Oh. Wait, was it a plead or it was just
No, she was just crying and she was like, why don't you like me? I'm like, I don't dislike you. And I was so uncomfortable. I got out of there as fast as I could.
Bro, yeah. I'm genuinely hurt, bro.
So this same lady, me and a couple friends sat at the same table group. There's 4 of us. My one friend was pissed one day and started talking back to her and giving her what's what. And they got in a fight in front of the class. I remember it being dead silent, and he was saying some of the most smart ass straight to the point stuff. And then she got whenever this teacher got upset, she would slap her thighs.
What?
Yeah, it was weird.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
so,
I thought you were together. I was like, what?
She's like, why don't you like me? Oh my gosh. So she was talking to him, and she's like, we had lunch the next period. She's like, I just know you guys are gonna talk crap about me at lunch. And we're like, hell yes, we're gonna talk about you at lunch. This is the weirdest thing ever. It was so weird. She was so dramatic.
Girl.
She was probably almost 50. Same teacher. It was the day before winter break. And so at the end of the day, each classroom were watching different movies, and teachers were letting their students go to other classrooms so they could hang out with their friends. And each classroom was showing a different movie. And every other teacher let their homeroom go to a different classroom if they wanted to. But mine, for some reason, didn't. There were kids from other classrooms in our class, and she wasn't letting us go. And I had a big crush on another girl, and she was in a different class. I wanted to go hang out with her. so I like waited till my teacher wasn't looking, and my desk was on the right side of the room, and then it's like 4 desks, and I just like I fell down on the floor and crawled out. And she comes running out in the hallway, slapping her thighs, like yelling at me. She's like, "You're coming to the office with me right now." So she brought me to the office. Like, I got sent to the white room, which was like this tiny room. It was like jail.
The white room. That sounds.
It was just like a closet with a desk in it.
Jeez.
And so I got put in there for like the last hour of the school day, and I had to fill out a form about like why I was sorry for what I did. And then she goes, "I would write you up if it wasn't the day before winter break." Whack. And then the same teacher moved to high school, and so I had her again my sophomore year or junior year, I think. All year, I was telling my buddy these stories who sat next to me. She comes up and she's like, "Let's just put the past in the past." She's like, "I don't know what you're telling him, but I know like our past. I just don't think you should be telling him that stuff." And then I finished telling him the story anyway, obviously.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
So, I used to EA, right? I would play games with the kids. 3 years passed, and I'm skating with these dudes at the skate park now, and they were telling me the story that this dude, he had ADHD, so he'd go take some Adderall halfway through the day. What he would do, they would trust him, so he would just go get it and go back to class because you take it before you eat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he would grab a handful and he would distribute them to the guys. So all the guys were topped up on Adderall for recess, and I was playing with them, and I was like, "Geez, these people are like, woo!" And I was like, "Oh, this makes sense now."
How old are these kids?
They were sixth graders at the time,
Wow.
and then the dude got suspended for doing it.
Well, yeah.
Someone snitched. When I was in third grade, we were having a competition in art class. We were seeing whose face can be the most red, and I'm super competitive. No, I just went, and you just like put pressure to your head and it becomes red. And I did that for as long as I could, and all of a sudden my vision just like closed. And I remember seeing I think this guy named Tucker at the very end of my at the long table, pointing and goes, "Look!" And I guess I passed out, and I wake up with a single tear in my eye, and the teacher holding me up says, "You should go to the office." And I didn't have a headache or anything, and I was just fine. And I won.
In 8th grade, I got like a bunch of the dudes at like block time. Well, you can't really call it recess because they really just let you go outside. Dude, it is like a prison. It's literally a concrete pad that all kids hang out on after lunch. We all went out there after lunch. I got a bunch of the guys to link arms and stand across from each other. Kind of like when you're doing a trust fall and the people are catching you.
Mm-hmm.
So they did that. I jumped on top of everyone's arms, and then I counted, and I was like, 1, 2, 3, and they threw me in the air like 10 feet.
What? That seems smart.
Oh, I know, right? And then another kid tried it, and he landed on his tailbone.
Oh.
Then we were like, I feel like we can do this better. And so we all go out on the field after school. We all are like about to do it, and one of the teachers comes out of the modular and just stares at us. One of the guy teachers just stares at us, like doesn't say anything, and we all pick up our backpacks and leave.
Oh, I got pushed off.
In 6th grade, I was sitting next to this kid who was like pretty popular, and we were doing like a worksheet together in social studies, and we're sitting at the back of the classroom on the floor, like against the cabinets, and he like moves to adjust his athletic shorts and rips one. And the class was quiet, and I remember like scooting away from him really quickly because I was so amazed, and everyone in the class like looked back and laughed, and he like totally denied doing it. Like he always was like, "Dude, it wasn't me. Was it you?" And it was so funny. That's such a vivid memory of him moving his shorts and then just ripping ass.